Flying into the drone zone. Right into the drone zone.
Flying through the drone zone. I've been put through the drone zone. Ace Combat 4. Now for $80. Sorry, I messed up. Wow, we're at 7 already.
Yeah.
How quickly they grow from tiny airplanes to big airplanes.
Especially the humongous airplane.
I think I remember when Ace Combat, I called it Air Combat, I think again. Ace Combat came out on the PS1 and like it blew everyone away. Now if you go back, it's like, what is this? And then I think I remember number 2, and then I've missed a few along the way. And
up to number 7.
I missed a few, maybe a lot. And pretty much the presentation of this, I kept feeling those Metal Gear vibes. I don't know if they like have some people from staff from Metal Gear, like maybe they got laid off from Konami and they're like, hey, we're gonna go work for the developers of this game. But I just like the way they do the talking bubbles and like the color of the bubbles and everything. It, like just the writing style, just the voice acting, like it just all reminded me of like, what if Metal Gear did a Top Gun kind of game? You would have this.
I was thinking more akin to basically the plot of the newest Ghost Recon game that was advertised at E3.
I find like a lot of the Call of Duties and Ghost Recons, like a lot of their stories are starting to like, I don't know if they're imitating or plagiarizing each other, but like there's only so many scenarios, I think. Like they're trying to modernize the stories, but at the same time like the stories.
It's why like one of the Call of Duty games actually had to go back in time.
Yeah.
Actually a couple of them did.
Yeah, so anyways, there's a lot of airplanes you can get via DLC. The base game, last I checked, is like $80 before tax, so it's not a cheap game, but like it's really well done. Like I was blown away by the landscape. It really feels like you're flying. In that sense, like I feel if you played this in VR, you would get like a next level experience. But like for me, the landscapes, I've never seen landscapes done as well in like a flight simulator game, and this game sort of balances. Like I've heard different games in this series, like some are more arcade like, some are more simulation type. It feels like they sort of balance the two in this one. Like it's not totally arcade and it's not totally simulation,
but it's like a mix of the both.
Yeah, it's like a happy medium for both camps that like those type of games. And for me, like, the airplanes look amazing. If you switch the camera, I feel like off to the side, or if you go inside the cockpit, it's decent. But like, I feel like when you're behind the actual airplane, it feels like it's not as detailed. I don't know if it's the lighting. That's what I felt, at least. I don't know. And the music's okay. It's pretty ambient. I really didn't
notice it. Yeah, there was like at least one moment where the music was pretty
sort of kicked up a bit.
Yeah, and that's like during like intense moments where you're fighting like armies of drones.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. It wasn't horrible. I found it was like there, and like I was so engrossed personally in taking down the drones and other enemies that. And the AI is pretty good, actually. Like the AI.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to like the drones.
And it was on normal, so I'm wondering how hard. Like even normal didn't seem too hard, too challenging, but I wonder how hard is. And it feels like the type of game that there's going to be like a super hard or ultra mode.
If you just
the game.
Yeah, if you're like really good.
But there's a lot of like full motion video at the start of the game, and like.
Wasn't really full motion, but it was pretty HD.
Yeah. I would say like if you really like simulators, I find there's not really as many simulators out there anymore. I can't think of the last one. We played one like a year or two ago that was like 4 years old.
So technically it's now 5 years old.
Well, 4 or 5 years old. But yeah, like you don't see these games very often anymore because it as a niche isn't as popular, I would say. So you know, if you like these type of games, you've probably been waiting for this for like a few years at least.
And by which case, if you are really craving for
My
this,
main criticism is like if you're a single player gamer and you really love this, you know, go ahead, spend the $80 and like whatever the DLC adds up to, $30. You know, go for it. But there's not a lot of multiplayer, and as far as we know, once you finish the story, however long that is,
the only thing worth replaying is to try again as different planes.
or buy more DLC.
Yeah. I'd say pick this up if you're really interested, like, because this has a really not postmodern, but like a very modernistic story about how drones are taking over the air.
I just love the attention to detail. Like the clouds are amazing. When you get stuck in a cloud and there's condensation, you see it, and it actually affects. Like you can actually stall easily. Like there are a few times where we had to pull out and accelerate, or you're in the middle of a dogfight, and it's pretty cool.
Or like you can use the clouds to dodge missiles.
Exactly, and like sometimes what I noticed is I thought, okay, if I did a barrel roll like in Star Fox, because that's what I kept thinking when I was playing this game.
Me too, but then it was
But then I like realized you can side dodge, and like even if you sort of go up and then down, like sort of
serpentine.
Yeah, like even if you do that, that sometimes gets rid of the missile.
But like you can't just like fly.
Yeah, you can't just like go and go down because the missile will still trace you. But if you like do some.
Oh no, I'm saying like you can't do like a loop de loop.
No, yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think there's any like stunts you can do as far as I know. It's just sort of you have to maneuver like sharp pin turns. That's what the top buttons were for, but we didn't really do that so much.
I mean, I tried to once I had to try and destroy all the drones in one level, but...
Yeah, I think this game is amazing. Like, I really think the way that they've done, like, it really feels like you're there. As I said, I found, like, the planes themselves were more distracting. Like, they didn't seem as polished from behind the, you know, plane itself. But, like, all the other views, it looked amazing. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I give it
I give it at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10. My main criticism is, again, like if there was an arcade mode where you could play and like dogfight against your friends, I think that would really improve it.
I was gonna give it a 7 out of 10, but then but because you know A's
I
combat
bumped.
7.
I finally. Oh, okay.
But you're finally like at a score higher than mine.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I just noticed that. I'm like, wow, I outscored Nick.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, everyone.
But I mean, like I do like this game enough to bump up the rating, so we're now evenly matched. 8 out of 10. Well, unless you bump yours up to a 9, in which case you're still higher.
I'm not doing that. I'm not elevating anything.
And this is to go even further beyond.
Anyways, I don't think we should stall anymore. So
let's fly out of here,
gaming.
boys, and highway to the danger zone.
Keep on gaming. Yeah.